Hi, this is another vinyl update. I've got 5 records to show you, which some of these are from way back in December, which I haven't got around to showing. So first off, Raw Power by Iggy and the Stooges. This is the 2LP version from 2010, I believe. Really great album. I mean, the Iggy Pop mix just about does it for me a bit better. I think Bowie's mix is a bit more weaker. Doesn't really have that much of a kick to it. Album of the year. Very underrated record, seeing it was panned when it came out. I mean, this being Faith No More's last album before they split for the first time. Yeah, there's some great moments on there, like Helpless, Last Cup of Sorrow, and Ashes to Ashes. But it wasn't as good as their previous 3 albums. But yeah, Music on Vinyl has done a really good reissue on these albums, even if they're not sort of authorised by the band. Yeah, again, as we know, sometimes band authorised stuff isn't really the best. The Auteurs, After Murder Part, this one was a disappointment. Bought one copy and it was scratched. It sounded like a sort of beat up old record rather than a record I spent £18 on. So I went and bought another copy from somewhere else, and it had Groove Damage in, which I was surprised, like Groove Damage on a new LP. I thought like the only way you get Groove Damage is actually putting a bent needle on it, but apparently not. You can get it in new records. So yeah, that's a bit of disappointment, and I've kept the sort of beat up copy. It's sort of the best of the two. You know, I took the one with Groove Damage in back. Popular Problems. First bought this last year. This is a replacement for a copy which had bent corners. Not sure about this one. I think Leonard Cohen's career over the past sort of 10 years has been a bit patchy, but yeah, I'm gonna give this one a go. And last but not least, Filth by Swans. I'm a big fan of Swans, but I've never really got into their early stuff. You know, I've got about 5 of their albums, actually 4, well 5 counting this one. I've got their last 2 albums, actually, it is 5. Yeah, it's 6 including this one. I've got their last 3 albums. Was it the To Be Kind, The Seer, and My Father Would Build a Ladder Up to the Sky. I think that's what it's called. The Burning World and Love of Life. And I've heard that they're reissuing all their albums, and really looking forward to sort of hearing them. You know, their back catalogue has been they've treated it really badly. I mean, you can't get like White Light from the Mouth of Infinity and Love of Life. I'd really like to upgrade my copy of that because my vinyl copy is really beat up. So yeah, I've been listening to, like, from my website, which is www.figure8magazine.co.uk. I've been reviewing some stuff, and it seems that January has been quite an eventful month, and I think the best album I've heard this month is the new Decemberist album. It's no masterpiece. I mean, the album's called What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World, or it's the other way round, I can't remember. And it's a solid set of songs. I've really been enjoying it. Bits of it do actually remind me of XTC. And there's also been the Belle and Sebastian album, but I've never really been able to get into them. To me they've always been a bit like Orange Juice and an Aztec Camera without the humour. But yeah, I'm really there's a few releases I'm really looking forward to in 2015. You know, Faith No More have got a new album out, which I know people are a bit disappointed with the song that's been released so far, Motherfucker. But you know, I'm going to re-judge the album when I hear it in full. Then Kendrick Lamar. You know, I loved Good Kid, Mad City. You know, there was one album which I avoided for a long time because of the hype around it. Usually, I'm not always one to buy an album just because it's been sort of hyped to death. I give up on that a long time ago, but I absolutely love that record. You know, it's one of those few times when the record actually deserves the hype. And I've also been listening a lot to Black Messiah by D'Angelo, and now that's one record which actually did get overrated, but I still think it's a really good record. When Voodoo came out, you know, a friend of mine actually told me it was a load of rubbish, so I never actually got into D'Angelo until this album came out. Everybody was rushing on the Spotify, so I thought, well, I'll see what the fuss is about. And it's a real grower, and I've actually pre-ordered a copy for next month. Really looking forward to hearing it on vinyl. But yeah, the Giorgio Moroder album, looking forward to that, even though it's got Britney Spears on it. I mean, the first song I've heard so far really sounds promising, because I know it's not really cool to like disco, but Giorgio Moroder was just one of a kind. I mean, David Bowie was a big fan, Brian Eno was as well, and one album I seriously recommend anyone thinking of listening to his music after like hearing the whole Daft Punk thing, get From Here to Eternity, and also get E = MC Squared. Both brilliant albums. E = MC Squared is more of a pop album. It sounds a bit like sort of ELO's disco era, you know, and which is something I must admit I do have a bit of a soft spot for. But From Here to Eternity sounds way ahead of its time. It's one of those records that is made for the dance floor, but it's very hypnotic. It's as good as anything Kraftwerk released, or Yellow Magic Orchestra released, or any of those sort of pioneering early sort of electro artists. Highly recommended. So yeah, so I'm hoping that 2015 is going to be a good year for music. I know that I've already started planning out what I'm going to be buying over the year, but I'm also sort of aiming to save up as well. And fingers crossed that whole VC meetup comes together, because you know I've only met sort of one person from the VC so far, despite you know there is actually a few that actually don't live too far from where I live. So hopefully that'll come together. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye.